No, we're live. Yeah.
We
live
are.
On Facebook. Did you make fun of ourselves? We're back. Yeah. Back again. Back here on the.
How long has it been since we've done this, Phillip?
I don't know. It's been a while.
I do like this Be Live software, though.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't have broadcasting software, this one's pretty affordable. What is it? What's the URL?
It's just app.belive.tv. This is what we're using.
So you can put the cool stuff in the corner right over there. Evidently, that's
First
something
try.
we do. Yeah. And then you can put the ticker at the bottom.
Yep.
So.
And a whole lot of other things. Like there's a lot of stuff that BeLive offers that we don't use because we don't need it. We've got a few other things we'll show. We're gonna have some images we're gonna pop up as we talk today. It's another feature. So it's been really neat. It's really inexpensive. It's great if you are someone who likes to do live features. If you want to bring other people in, that's a really big deal because Facebook doesn't really make it easy to have multiple people on a Facebook Live anymore. So
that was great during COVID. Well, it's still COVID, but it was great during
when we were all quarantine.
Working remotely. Yeah.
My nose is itching. I swear. I'm just like, it's driving me nuts right now. Come on.
Well, our topic is not Be Live today.
No, it's not Be Live or Facebook Lives or lives of any nature. Social media is only a little bit of it, but it is part of it. So today, the big question of the day, because our whole point when we do these monthly is to try and make sure that we bring value to the people who actually tune in, whether live or afterwards. We want to make sure that you're able to leave with something actionable, whether that's actually something to do or just some lists to go over or things to review for your business, whether you're just starting out and been doing this for a long period of time. So today's topic of the day is your business in demand? Are people coming after your business specifically, or at least the things that you sell or the services you provide?
Right, your services or your categories or things like that.
Right.
Making sure that, people are asking for it. That's one way you're going to market it. If people are kind of not knowing what's going on, then you take a totally different approach.
Right. It's a question you really have to ask, and it's one that we look at when we determine marketing plans and strategies for businesses who come to us. It's a question that's really important to look at and determine where best to spend the money, how best to plan for them to get the best success for promoting their business, because every business is different, everything is different, and you have to know where best to go if you're really going to grow your business.
Yeah. So we hope these things provide value to you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Go ahead and just drop us a line in the chat.
Yep.
We have our cool Be Live app keeps track of that. So,
if you want to comment, it's that way for us. It's down there.
Yeah. That kind of gets old after a while then.
I know.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
But demand for your business. So let's get started.
Yeah.
We'll get into it right away. So one thing that we use, there's a couple tools, and one that's the easiest to use really is Google Trends, and that tells about search for business categories and topics. And you can also use, if you're a little more technical and get a little bit more detailed search, you can use the AdWords keyword generator tool. And with the Google AdWords tool, you get a little bit more specific data. But for the purpose of just the everyday client, we like to use recommend trends. It seems to be easier to get there. But you don't have as detailed data from like a 10-mile radius. Like within Cersei, since we don't have that many queries going through, it's hard to get some detailed data. So, but from a statewide standpoint, you can just kind of use it as a barometer or a metric. So there's two types of searches that we categorize. This is if you were going into Google to search, you would type in two different types. One, we call it a brand search or a non-branded search. Okay. So your branded search would be like, if it was for us, Think Idea Studio.
Right. Someone's looking specifically for the name of your company. That's what we mean by brand, obviously.
Yeah, anything that's associated with your brand like that. If you have products and they're named accordingly, you have a naming convention for those, that would be a brand type search. We do Dr. Berry's is a retail thing. So when you see a branded search for it, it'd say Dr. Berry's specific medicine type. But if you saw something for like respiratory relief, that would be a non-branded search. Right. So a lot of times it's hard for smaller companies to get any branded results. Some of the bigger companies that we work for, you can get those branded results. So like an example for one, let's use Hebrew Eye Care, which is a client. I did a search yesterday and it's not going to pull any results. So this is not a mistake. But if you type it in, if you want to pull up that slide there, if you go to it's trends.google.com. That's trends.google.com. And or you can just Google Trends and it'll come up. And at the top of the page, there's a way to search.
Google Trends.
Google Trends. So this is a great campaign we run and for Google AdWords and search is Hebrew Eye Care. They always do really well with their conversions. But when you search just their brand, Heber Springs Eye Care, it says it shows no results.
Right.
Well, on the other side of that, if you search eye doctors near me, which if you want to pull up that next one,
We do.
that's a bunch of them.
There's so much.
There it is.
A lot of hopping around.
Yeah, yeah. So eye doctors near me, you'll see that there starts to become some data there. And so you see queries of that search happening. So what that means is if we're going to start gauging what we need to market around, people may or may not be looking for that brand,
Right.
but they're probably looking for eye doctors in the same sense. So
Right.
this gives us that indicator. Google Trends is fun to go and play with your business, with your services, and see what is most in demand. And that will determine how to shift your marketing. Another one I did was and this is not in the frames, but I did one for plumbing and plumbers, lawyers, any type of service. If you need it, people are going to go and search for it immediately. You know, food, those types of things. But then we had a client called Trident Plumbing. They have plenty of plumbing business. They're always busy, but the search for Trident Plumbing is not huge. But the search for plumbers near me, guess what? Lots of results.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Use Google Trends a little bit to determine demand. I think there's some logical things, you can tell if your business is in demand.
Yeah, obviously, if people are calling you, people are coming in the doors, if people are buying your product or scheduling your service on a regular basis, if you're booked up for the next few months, obviously you're in demand.
Yeah.
So that's an obvious indicator.
Well, and if that demand happens without really an external sales effort,
Right.
Like if we're not doing external promotion or anything and they're just calling like crazy, then you're going to have some demand for your business. So I think that goes without saying. So what do I do with that data? How do I know if my business is in demand or not in demand? And guess what? It's not the end of the day if your business is not in demand.
No, it's okay.
That doesn't mean you can't be in business at all and be very successful. One thing we talk about if it's not in demand, we talk about marketing in another two types of categories, pull versus push. So push marketing, if there's not a high demand, it's very important for us to get the word out. I know you do a lot of that.
Yeah, push is very much about pushing out who you are. It's very much about raising awareness of your brand because people don't know about it and they're not searching for it specifically. So you're making sure you push it out in front of them so they can see it.
So if you want to pull up that one, this is our classic megaphone photo of push marketing. That means when you're educating, creating demand, and generating awareness for your brand.
Right.
So push marketing happens in a few different types of categories. And as you can imagine, Facebook and social media is going to be a big one, and you can hit that one. Facebook, social media, we push things out on the radio. Radio marketing is good for awareness, events, new products, anything that you're trying to launch, anything that has a mass consumer audience. You're going to get a big audience from that radio. Push marketing is going to happen with public relations. You see some PR events going on for people.
Right. Yeah.
Even sponsoring ball teams, that's a form of push marketing.
Anything that pushes your name out there like that is going to be, sponsoring things, putting out press releases that you send out to the media. It's less about advertising and more about just making sure people know about you.
And
about your brand.
Yeah, and content marketing, which you do all day, every day, educates people about your employees, about the services you offer. Those types of things start to create demand. So if your business has zero awareness around it, your services don't have a lot of demand, and people need to know about it before they start to buy.
Right.
We're going to go and try to push out that message a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you start to make decisions on that, it's important to know that so that you are most efficient with your budget.
This is where the trends thing matters because people may be searching for what you're doing, but it doesn't mean they're searching for you. So you need to be aware of those kinds of things to determine just what you need to do. So is it a matter of they're searching for what you offer, but not you specifically, or are they not even searching for that because what you sell or offer is new or different or new to the area so people don't even know that it's around there? That's a big question to understand before you decide where and how best to promote yourself and what language to use for it.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's very important. And so word of mouth can only go so far sometimes where we have to get some mass education out there.
Yep.
The next one now is pull marketing. Pull marketing actually is going to convert more than your push marketing. So when we go to talk about pull marketing, we're talking about something people are asking and are ready to buy, usually at that time. And if I got a leak at my house, I'm not just going to let that hang out for a month.
No?
I'm going to call.
Smart move.
I'm going to call a plumber. Call one of my plumber friends and say, hey, or search online. I've got a couple of friends I know that are really good ones too.
Yeah.
But or search online if I'm somewhere that I don't know and just say, hey, plumbers near me.
Right.
And then that's going to be an example of pull marketing. And when I do that, guess what? I'm probably ready to buy.
I mean, and I think the best example of this is always like when you go to another place, you go out of town, you go to another city, and it's time for dinner, you're hungry. What does everybody want? We want pizza. You may look for a specific place because you like a Pizza Hut or a Maggio's, but if you're looking for something local, you just want to look for pizza. You're going to Google search pizza in the Google Maps and see what all pops up. That's a perfect example of they may not be looking for you specifically, but they are looking for what it is that you sell or a service you provide.
Yep. And so that's what's really important about pull is being there when people are asking. And so ways you can be there when people are asking, Phillip, if you'll hit that one other, let's see, I think it's in the very end. There it is.
Hey.
Beam me up.
No.
So yeah, the ways you can do pull marketing. Your website is one way to do it. Any listing services sometimes are good. You know, there's a lot of different. If you're an architect or if you're in, doing things where there's these blogs that you can be on to get yourself listed, those listings are always good because that's just going to help your rankings. Any type of form of search marketing, AdWords, even Bing search marketing. Search engine optimization is going to be really good with that.
SEO. So people would say, you hear the term SEO and you're like, I don't know what he's talking about.
That means that you have, Google My Business, huge for this. You know, you're getting reviews, you're doing those types of things to make your listings pop up. All that's going to be in your pull marketing realm.
Fun note, everyone uses Google. Everyone knows about Google. Google's the one we always put everybody on. Google is not the only one you should consider being on for a couple of reasons. Why is that?
Well, with Bing, is another Bing's another option. Now Google's going to have about 90% plus of your market share, and that's going to fluctuate some. But Bing is going to come native on some other devices installed, and so like all the Windows devices and even your Android phone sometimes is going to go to Bing search. Well, even though there's a lower amount of traffic, if there is high demand with that, then you can get some pretty cheap cost per click. Or you can get some things that just aren't as saturated. So you might be traveling in less competition. So yeah, every once in a while we've seen Bing campaigns take off, and believe it or not, they work just because people don't change their default browsers. And hey, that's okay. Sometimes it's easier just to do that. So that's a good question, Phillip.
Thanks.
Yeah, you did great. One thing that's interesting is signage is so important. For pull marketing, it can actually work both ways, pull and push. So push, if you have really cool signage, people notice it. So it's pushing the message out. They may not be asking for it, but if they're asking and they're trying to get there, boy, it'd be great to have somewhere when they're driving to be able to find you. Otherwise, they might go right past you and do a competitor or something else. So signage can actually fall in both categories.
We've all been driving somewhere and seen a sign that catches our eye, and we keep looking at it every time. We're like, that's pretty cool. I wonder what that place is. I wonder what that place does. It's all those little things we don't think about when we're putting together a business plan. Is like it's those little details of things that you think don't matter that we want to. I understand cost effective is important, but it's those little things that can really do a lot for your business. Things like that.
I love businesses that put signs up before they're open so that everybody gets excited about it. I think we have like a noodle shop coming in.
Thank you. I was gonna ask you. There's a noodle house,
something like that coming in. I mean, I don't know. It sounds great to me. The sign is up, so now we're talking about it. So you see that can work as a form of push marketing.
I love a good noodle
because
place.
I didn't ask for a noodle house, but I sure am glad it's going to be here.
I know it's coming. I'm gonna go, and it's perfect. Man, I forgot to tell you that. I love a good noodle house.
It's going to be delicious. Well, again, I think that kind of wraps it up. We just wanted to make you guys aware. I think it's important as you start to make your marketing plan and strategies that you're putting it in the right spot and that you know where your demand is or where it's not. And if it's not in demand, let's get the message out there if we can. If you need help with anything where your business category falls, if push or pull is going to be better, feel free to reach out to us. thinkis.com/contact. Fill out that form. We'll follow back up with you. We also have a cool digital scorecard for those of you interested. thinkis.com/score if you want to go take your own digital score to see your marketing footprint. We can get back with you on that too.
Like we say, it's free. I understand people always hear free, and it's like, okay, but
free.
It's free. Sorry, I didn't that. Look, you can hit us up in the comments down below. You can message us here on Facebook. You can send us an email. And we are happy to help businesses out, whether you spend $1 with us or not. We're here to answer questions. I mean, one of the best things we can offer is information and experience, and we're happy to do so. We like to see businesses, especially locally, small places thrive and succeed. So we're always happy to help and try to make that happen.
Awesome.
All right. I think that's it for now. We'll be back next month with another Facebook Live,
Oh, yeah.
monthly.
I think we've got two really good options
Mm.
for the next month.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think next month we have the Entrepreneur Week coming on.
Ah, yes.
So look forward to Entrepreneur Week. It's hard to say, but it's going to be really fun
Yeah.
to participate in.
Entrepreneur. Don't I spell for a living. Don't ask me to spell.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Again, do us a favor, share, follow the page, comment down below if you have any questions, reach out, and hope to hear from you.